I've achieved so much thanks to the Sony ZV-E1. It has been a true workhorse in my content creation journey, including documentary work and vlogging. I have good news on the software front for the Sony ZV-E1 owners. But I have also had my fair share of frustrations. If I could go back in time and make that choice again, would I still pick the Sony ZV-E1? I'm not so sure anymore. My name is Jose Alcoy, and on this channel I share what I learned in my journey as a content creator. In the description, you'll find a link to my newsletter. Sign up to stay tuned to my latest discoveries. I made a video a few months ago praising the ZV-E1. It's basically an FX3 in a smaller format with improved autofocus. What is there not to like? I did warn about overheating in longer recording sessions. Over the past year, I've used Sony Creator's app to monitor myself while recording. Unfortunately, this causes the camera to overheat. The Sony ZV-E1 has many great features, but compared to the FX3, it feels plasticky. Basically, it cannot dissipate heat. I'm not complaining. I knew about this limitation when I bought it. The good news is that there is a solution. It's time to get an external fan. There are two options: the small rig fan that requires external power, and the Ulanzi fan, which costs half as much and has great reviews. I think the choice is made. It weighs about 80 grams and it attaches to the back of the camera using springs. The fan isn't very loud, even on its highest setting. The built-in battery lasts about an hour at full speed and an hour and a half at low speed. It works. It's enough to prevent overheating during extended recording sessions. It's still an extra piece of gear to remember to charge, but it's a fair trade-off for getting an FX3 sensor in a smaller body at a great price point. Now that we've solved the overheating issue, let's move on to a software update that elevates the ZV-E1 to the big leagues. This update introduces a professional app that allows you to monitor multiple cameras simultaneously. For instance, an FX6, an FX3, and a ZV-E1. In my case, the advantage is that I can use my phone to keep an eye on framing, exposure, and focus while I record my videos, without the need for an external monitor. For example, you can monitor zebra levels. This is a feature missing in the Creator's app. I use a white t-shirt for calibration, and I can set my zebras to around 90 or 95%. Find the ISO at which zebras are displayed and reduce it until you get rid of them. You're good to go. The app also includes false color, which is the next level to find the correct exposure. Here the main goal is to get the skin tones illuminated by the main light in pink, while keeping an eye on the rest of the image to make sure that everything is correctly exposed. Monitoring video on your phone or tablet with this app just feels more professional. I'm talking about the Sony Monitor and Control app, now available to ZV-E1 users. All you need to do is to update your camera's firmware and install it on Android or iOS. It's a must-have for creators that want to push the ZV-E1 to its full potential. It does not fully replace the Creator's app that is the only option in photography mode. So what made me question whether this was the right camera for me? It's all your fault. After publishing a video on my main camera, a viewer commented that the Sony A7C II might have been a better choice. I didn't even consider it as a main video camera at the time, but comparing the two, it starts to make sense. The Sony ZV-E1 is a vlogging camera. It produces smoother footage on the go. It offers better low-light performance, and it has unbeatable video-centric features. The A7C II, on the other hand, is a photo camera with solid video capabilities. It has no overheating problems, an electronic viewfinder, and more megapixels, so more flexibility when cropping or zooming in. I think I would have been happy with the A7C II, but I don't regret getting the ZV-E1. It has everything a filmmaker needs, plus there is something that Sony really nailed with this camera. It's color science. And that's why I love taking pictures with it despite its limitations. What if it is not an either-or question? Since my main focus is video, the Sony ZV-E1 is still the right choice for me, and the overheating issue is now solved with the fan. I've been using the Sony A7 III as a second camera, but it's not ideal. It has a different color science and it's difficult to color match. I've tried to replicate the look with settings shared by other creators, but it's not even close. The A7C II has S-Cinetone. It would be a great photo camera that I can use as a second video camera, even if the color rendering is slightly different from the ZV-E1. It was released more than a year ago, so I wouldn't pay full price, but I will keep an eye on a good second-hand opportunity or a flash sale. Who knows, it might even rekindle my passion for photography. I'm also aware that the A7 IV may launch very soon. Haven't made your choice yet? Watch this video over here and learn why I chose the Sony ZV-E1 for content creation and filmmaking.